We're back. Sorry we haven't been uploading content the last couple days. I've been moving. We're going to review the midpoint of The Last of Us. Before we get into this video, we want to give you a little outlay. We're going to talk briefly about how we feel the first half of the show, and then we're going to get into what we want to see going forward, okay? Or what we would like to see, all right? So, Tony, scale 1 to 10. How do you feel about the first 5 episodes of The Last of Us? What do you like? What do you don't like?
All right, so I've played the game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The thing is, I will give it right now like an 8. If I'm going to give it a rating, I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. The only problem I have is, and if you've seen the first 5 episodes, you know this. Whenever they show like another character, like a side character, like Catherine, that's not in the video game, the problem happens every time. They try to dig deep into their character development for them to just die off one episode later. Yeah. So it's like, kind of like episode 3. It's like, all right, after episode 1 and 2, the only thing I can take from watching 4 and 5 is I'm watching them develop Joe and Ellie's character. Because you can watch 1 and 2, jump to 6, and you're really not missing anything. They're still trying to get A to B. You get what I'm trying to say? Joel's trying to get to his brother and take her to the location she needs to get to, right? So 4 and 5 are just them getting held back by these bandits or freedom fighters or resistance, whatever they want to call themselves. Really, they waste their time showing Catherine and them, and they have nothing to do with the story. So, again, you're talking about you're coming from one of the greatest beloved video games of all time. And you have already a masterpiece in the story. So this added content, I don't care for it. I do like when they show in the first episode or second episode, when they show how, when the Indonesian, the elder lady tells the officer that's in charge, hey, look, you need to blow up everything. That's okay because you're getting more of like what's going on, what's happening. But Kathleen and that little side shit, useless. So the only thing I got from episode 4 and 5 was just more character development for them two getting closer together. And that's it, which you see with Sam and Henry. That's about it. Other than that, it looks like the second half, we're already going to, from the preview, we're going to already get to Tommy. And now things are going to move even more into the story, more into what we're here for, like the getting A to B. Right. It's hard to explain because it sounds stupid, but really it's true. Like, you don't need to watch 3, 4, and 5. If you watch 1 and 2, Tess dies, and he's still trying to get her from A to B. Nothing's changed. He still hasn't gotten to Tommy yet, and he still hasn't taken her to where he needs to take her.
Right.
Without spoiling anything from what's going to happen. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Right. Right. And what's a good dynamic from me and Tony when it comes to The Last of Us, that Tony actually played the video game growing up, and he knows all about the video game. I know I never played it. I know nothing about this game. So if you're watching us, you're going to get my point of view as somebody that never played, and also Tony's as someone that knows the game very well. So for me, the first half, I would say, is a 9 out of 10. I do agree with Tony that a lot of the story that they've shown in episodes 3, 4, and 5, really you don't need it. But I think what it does do is that it shows the struggle that they're going through in order to get to the destination that Joel and Ellie are trying to get to.
And we did have a cool scene from the bloater in episode 5. So you get to meet the bloater, which if they would have not changed anything, episode 3, you were supposed to meet the bloater with Bill. But they brought it in 5, which was a bad, don't get me wrong, it's a badass scene. That whole ending was incredible. Episode 5, it was really good. Like I said, 8 out of 10 I give this show right now. I might just, sorry, go ahead. Just,
Yeah, and this is a constant thing that I'm seeing online with the guys and the women who play the game, not sticking to the original storyline of the game. And right now, I think what the show is doing, from what Tony and how he's expressed to me on and off camera, is that basically they're sticking to the storyline, but they're making some alterations, and you guys you don't know if you're good with it or not yet. It's kind of like you're in the middle.
Neo said himself, if I'm going to show like these bandits, now it's different from the game where they're just no-name characters and you just kill them off and you kill them yourself or you get away from them. But now he wants to give them a face. The problem is you're giving a character a face and a lot of screen time, like Kathleen, which I don't think anybody gives a shit about. I'm not going to sympathize with her. I'm just not. I don't care about her motives of why she's upset. And I already know Henry and Sam will do anything. You know Henry will do anything for Sam, and that doesn't need to be even explained. You just know it from when you see them. He's protecting this kid, his little brother. That's it. But, I mean, again, they got to fill in some time. They got to get some runtime in there, because if not, the show will be over in 4 episodes.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like The Last of Us, I think I'm ready to call it an all-time good show, like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, etc., Stranger Things. But what those shows did well, and what The Last of Us seems to be doing well, is filling in those time gaps with storyline that you're into. Overall, I'm super excited for the rest of this season, and that brings me to my next point. Tony, what do you want to see going forward in the show? Now, I don't know anything from the game, so I really can't tell you what I want to see going forward. I want to see more of the same development between Joel and Ellie and their relationship, and I want to see. I love the world that they're building, and that's something that I've seen the gameplay a little bit, and that's something that in the game you can tell it did excellent. Was with the world they created around the characters.
There's one thing I want to see that was shown in the preview. They're in the snow, and there was a DLC content that came out in the game. It takes place, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it takes place in a mall. And it has nothing to do with Joel in a way, but it does. And man, if they do that, that'll be super cool. I mean, it probably won't be episode 6, or maybe it will, maybe it'll be episode 7. But if they do it, it'll be super cool. And that's just something that I want because the DLC was pretty good. It was something I liked.
And let me ask you this: a lot of people don't know, but Pedro Pascal was actually handpicked by Neil Druckmann, who is the creator of The Last of Us, the video game. How do you feel about the 2 central characters, played by Pedro Pascal, and Ellie, played by Bella Ramsey? How do you feel about their performances so far? Are they believable? Do they remind you of the game?
Yeah. No, she's good.
She's good?
She's really good.
Yeah, she's
really
actress.
good.
Yeah.
She's really good. And I think she's 19 or 20 years old, playing at 13. Well, I think they're doing that because they're supposed to be, at some point, if they do season 2 and they try to follow, I'm not even spoiling. If they're trying to follow, there is going to be a time skip. So it kind of makes sense for her to already be of age. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's, her playing a 13-year-old and she's already 19, 20. That's great. So she's already a grown woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it goes to show that this show is really...
The effects are incredible.
The effects are great. It's cutting across all borders because people who don't know the game love it. People who know the game are loving it. So
look, everybody's watched The Walking Dead. Okay. So you notice when you're watching The Walking Dead and they're getting from A to B and they show like this landscape or them driving on the road, everything looks the same. This show has a lot of money. The backgrounds look done, like full of fungus, and everything's been with growth of the grass and growth on it. And man, the shots are like panned out, and you see them driving in the car, and you're thinking, man, how the fuck did they do that? The effects are that good. And the bloater looked incredible too. The bloater looked absolutely incredible. So I mean, yeah, the effects. This is like a movie. This show is like a movie. I mean, it's like movie quality here.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I was watching it.
It's not like, The Walking Dead sometimes had those episodes where you felt like it was movie quality, but a lot of times you're watching just like, we've been here the whole goddamn show.
Yeah, like I remember the season where
same sets every time.
They were in the jail. How long were they in that jail for?
Oh God,
2 seasons.
So it's because it's a show. It's a TV show, and it felt like a regular TV show at the time. I mean, like I said, this is like a movie.
Another show you can take too is like Stranger Things, when you're in the upside down versus the normal world.
Yeah, so, a lot of money.
So
into that.
So that dynamic of always really drastically switching a setting is that thing that works in shows, because with shows you have to be able to go many episodes. So overall for me, the show's a 9 out of 10. The bloaters look like menacing. I mean, those things are.
They don't fuck around.
Yeah, they don't. I mean,
you ripped the guy's head off.
I don't know. He looks like a guy that's fat but on steroids. And obviously, as we know, it's already been greenlit for a second season. So this show is probably the best. I would say right now it's probably the best show on television. Yellowstone's kind of dropping off because of the whole Kevin Costner thing, and then Succession is there for me too. But this is probably number 1 for me right now.
Well, until Mando comes out.
I probably like this one more than Mando, to be honest.
I'm dying for some good Star Wars content again. So
yeah,
I'm excited for Mando.
Yeah.
I love Last of Us. I'm gonna keep watching it, but you know what that is? That we might have both of them airing at the same time. It's nice.
Yeah, sweet. Nice. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. That's our thoughts on the midpoint for season 1 of The Last of Us. like, subscribe, and go fuck yourself. We're out.